The UK is home to some absolutely incredible coasters. We've got world first coasters such as this, record breaking coasters like this, and some absolute stinkers like this. But here then on this list we're going to talk about my top 10 coasters here in the UK. Starting off at number 10. So first up then is Galactica over at Alton Towers. Now this is opened in 2002 and it's the first ever B&M flying coaster. Features two inversions, a 66 foot tall lift hill and a top speed of 47 miles an hour. Now this is a coaster that I absolutely love. I think it's very underrated. And it's one of those coasters that if you're not quite sure on coasters, it's a really good one to start with. It's very smooth, it features a couple of inversions, as well as a lie to fly element, which is a really unique element if you've not done one. It's also very tame. This ride is not scary, it doesn't provide that much G-force, and it's a really fantastic ride there for the whole family to enjoy. And that's why it's made this list at number 10. So ninth place then, we've got Mumbo Jumbo over at Flamingo Land in North Yorkshire. Now this is a coaster I very much enjoy, and when it opened back in 2009, it was the world's steepest drop on any coaster. This is an S&S L Loco model, and it's got a drop of 112 degrees. Now this has since lost its record, and it currently sits 7th in the world as the steepest coaster there in operation. This ride features two inversions. It's got a top height of around 30 metres there, which is 98 feet, and it's just a very enjoyable ride. Every time I've been to Flamingo Land, this usually is the best operated coaster with multiple trains in operation and a genuinely fairly smooth ride to boot. It does have some weird restraints, but all in all, I think this is a fantastic coaster and one not to be missed. Back over to Alton Towers then for number 8, where we've got the Wicker Man. Now this is a GCI wooden coaster. This is the ride that replaced the Flume, as the Alton Towers really want to build a wooden coaster, and this is what we got. This cost a whopping £16 million at its time of build, which in today's money equates to around 20 million. So this was a very expensive ride indeed. The ride does not have any inversions, features a top height of around 22 metres and has a top speed of 44-ish miles an hour. It's a very enjoyable ride indeed. For a wooden coaster, this is very smooth, and it's got a height restriction of 1.2 metres, allowing everyone in the family to enjoy it. I think overall this was a great addition to the park. This is one of the best theme rides we've got here in the UK, and that's why it secured its place here at number 8. So sticking at Alton Towers then, for number 7, we've got Nemesis Reborn. Now I absolutely love this ride. The theming they've done on this is absolutely incredible, and a really big improvement from the original, which opened back in 1994. Now this ride has a top height of about 13 metres, but it's due to the location of this, as it was actually built into a giant pit that they mined out. So that's what makes this ride really unique. And it's also one of the only B&M inverting coasters that starts off with a corkscrew. A lot of them go straight down a main drop into a loop. So this was what makes this a little bit more unique as well. As well as that, you've got the track, which has got the hand-painted veins on there. And the coaster itself is a really enjoyable layout. Now the only thing that prevented this coaster going a bit higher was B&M have changed their manufacturing process, allowing them to have slightly higher tolerances. So this has made this coaster, and all the new B&Ms to be honest, have this weird kind of rattle. It's not that it's uncomfortable, but it is noticeable, and it's definitely getting worse. So that's kind of why this is a little bit lower down the list. But a very enjoyable coaster nonetheless, and one in terms of theming is one of the best we've got here in the UK. So heading over to Thorpe Park then for number 6 for our first ride here from this park. Now this is going to be, in my opinion, the best Nemesis here in the UK in Nemesis Inferno. Now I've made no apology for putting this one above Nemesis Reborn. I've thought this for quite some time. I do think this is a much better coaster. I prefer the layout of this ride, and I think the overall kind of stylized theme that they've got there with the volcano works very well indeed. Now this ride is 29 metres or 95 foot tall and a top speed of 58 miles an hour. Similar to the other B&Ms where you go down the first drop into a loop, and then you've got 3 other corkscrews there on the ride to make the total inversions of 4. I absolutely love this ride. I think this is much more intense than Nemesis Reborn, and just overall a much more enjoyable thrill coaster, and that is why it secured number 6. So we're halfway through this list now, and if you are enjoying this list, please make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know what you think down in the comments down below. So moving on to the top 5 then. Heading just up the road then, not far away, we've got Chessington World of Adventures. And we've got the first B&M wing coaster of the list, Mandrill Mayhem. Now I love a wing coaster from B&M, I think they're one of the best rides out there, and this one is no exception. This one has got a top speed there of 45 miles an hour, features a height of 20 meters, and it's just a much more accessible ride there for the family. Now this features 2 inversions. It's the same inversion, which is a corkscrew that goes above the entrance to the area, but you do this both forward and backwards. This is the first in the world. It is a B&M winged launch shuttle coaster. So that is where you've launched from the station, you've got another launch halfway down the ride, you go all the way around to the Jaguar Shrine, and then you come back around the layout backwards. This also features a back row seat, so you've got the front row, the back row, and then the kind of inverted back row, which is facing the opposite direction. So it makes this coaster one of the most re-rideable coasters here in the UK, and I absolutely love it. When I rode this earlier last year, I thought this was really, really good. The launches were punchy, and it was just a genuinely really good coaster. The layout in the area, going around the whole area, it looks fantastic. So that is why this is the first coaster that makes it into my top 5. Number 4 then, and now you're over at my home park, over at the Blackpool Pleasure Beach. The first ride I've got here is going to be the big one. Now this 1994 Aerodynamics classic hypercoaster here, the first drop in this ride is unlike any other rides that we've got here in the UK. It is absolutely fantastic. Yes, the ride is getting a little bit old now, and you can certainly see with the turnaround section and the helix, it is a little bit uncomfortable. But I think when you get on this ride, on the back row, especially on a night ride or later on in the day, it is just one of the most fantastic experiences you can have anywhere in the UK. This ride features a 213 foot tall lift hill and a max drop of 205 feet. You also get a phenomenal view there at the top of the coaster, over the seaside and the beach there at the Irish Sea, and it just makes for a brilliant ride. I think the fact that this ride is still going strong 30 years later is just a testament there to Aerodynamics and the Blackpool Pleasure Beach maintenance team, who do an absolute phenomenal job keeping all the rides going. So this is one of my favourite rides here in the UK, and it's one of these rides that I ride pretty much on a weekly basis. I absolutely love it to bits, and that is why it's my number 4 coaster. Just beating out the big one then, at the same park, we've got Icon. Now this was really close, and depending on how well the big one's riding, I do often switch these two around. But Icon is one of the most consistent coasters here in the UK. It's never ever down. Every time I'm at the park, this thing is always running. You've also got Enzo on there as well, if you want a little bit more of a different experience. And this thing is an absolute throughput machine. Yes, it has slowed down recently with the addition to the seat belts and the changes there with the last train on Enzo, but this thing still absolutely eats the queues. It's a phenomenal coaster. This is a Mack multi-launch coaster, and it's the only double launch coaster we've got here in the UK, if you don't count Revolution, which was technically the first. But hey, we'll leave that technicality there to the Pleasure Beach. But I absolutely love this ride, and that's why it's secured the number 3 spot here for me in the UK. Just missing out on the top spot then, we're back over at Thorpe Park for the one and only, the Swarm. Now I absolutely love this ride. It is such a forceful ride. I do often grey out on the loop there at the bottom. It's just incredible. Everything about this, the theme, the whole area, I think it's such a phenomenal ride. One thing I do wish they did do though, when this ride first opened in its first year, they did actually have backwards cars on it. And thankfully, I was there opening year and I did get to experience this going backwards. And it was honestly a game changer. So I would love them to bring this back, but the Swarm nonetheless is phenomenal. You've got the wing over drop there as you're going over top of the lift hill, which is now a staple of B&M wing coasters. And this was the first one to do this. This was actually the second B&M wing coaster built anywhere in the world, just behind Raptor there at Gardaland, which we are getting out to soon, so make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that. But I absolutely love this coaster. It features a 127 foot tall lift hill and a top speed of 59 miles per hour with 5 inversions. The G-force on this honestly is incredible. It's such a forceful ride, and if you like your thrill coasters, this is one that you should not miss. One of the best coasters here in the UK, and that's why it is my number 2 here on my top 10 list. And then my number 1 coaster then in the UK, which comes as a surprise I think to nobody, has got to be the Mack Ride Hypercoaster Hyperia. Now this is one of the best coasters, and this really is a phenomenal coaster to the point I think this competes with European parks, which normally you don't hear from parks here in the UK. This is a 236 foot lift hill with a top speed of 80 miles an hour with 2 inversions on there. You've got the hang time, you've got the stall, you've got the weird element there at the back. It is just, the overall package is fantastic. Now this ride is not really themed, it's more stylised, but I think they've done an amazing job. I love the gold and white, I think it works really well, and the train design is just phenomenal. Honestly, going over that drop there on the back row, you just get whipped all the way down It is one of the best experiences you'll have on any coaster in the UK. That's why it is my #1 coaster of anything here. And that's it then, guys. That is my top 10 for the best coasters here in the UK. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm bang on the money? Do you think I'm miles out? Let me know your top 10 list in the comments down below. Now, this is just my list. Again, your list can differ, and that's absolutely fine. That's one of the best things here about the industry, is that we can all have our favourites and least favourite coasters, and it's just incredible. So I really do encourage you to have your say in the comments down below. Now, if you want to see more videos like this one, then be sure to check out my news and updates playlist over here. If you want to see videos from the brand new gyro swing over at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and we've found the name to be a Victus, then you want to check out the construction playlist over here. And if you have found value in today's video, please make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram at Dive Loop Coasters for all the latest. But from me here today with my top 10 UK coasters, thank you so much for watching. Good night, God bless. See you in the next one.